Hello trainers, welcome to our wall framing course. I wanted to take a little time and go through this course, all of the pieces of it and parts of it. There's a lot of things happening here. Let's start in this first section called wall framing elements. There's a lesson that begins this section that talks about the parts of a typical wall frame, all of the pieces, where they're placed, what their job or their role is, and the terms we use to identify them. It moves on to a lesson about headers, a very specific and highly engineered part in the wall. And then there's a lesson on blocking, a very specific job we have for blocking and not in every wall panel. Each one of these different lessons will have its own quiz, and students can watch the video, take the quiz, and move on from that. At the end of this section, there is a wall framing elements review. This is a quick way to guarantee or make sure that students understand their wall parts before they move on. The other lessons will refer to all of these pieces and assume that students know what those parts are. This next section takes those wall panels and we start talking about how to connect them. What do we need to do in our framing to make those wall connections, whether it's a corner or a T. We have a whole lesson on that, the variations that they'll see, a quiz related to that lesson. Then there's a stud layout lesson. This is a really important concept in framing, period, but especially when we're talking about wall framing, the different stud layouts, what they can expect to see, and why we do this regular pattern of stud placement in a wall panel. There's a whole lesson on wall sheathing, its purpose, and how to do it. There's a quiz related to that one as well. And then there is a mini lesson at the very end about some of these pre-cut stud lengths and why they are the way they are. This is a short video that sort of works them through the math of when you stack framing up together in a wall, why it amounts to an 8-foot wall or a 9-foot or a 10-foot wall. So moving on from this section, we get into wall framing process. So this one talks about, this first lesson gets into plate layout and how that process is done. Simple stud placement, and then the whole idea about a rough opening or a window or door placement, say a wall connection placement, how that happens, and step by step, how to lay out a set of plates to have all these features end up in the right place when this wall is assembled. There is a plate layout skills exercise available in this section so students can practice what they just saw in the lessons. There's also a skills exercise review video to help students work through the process of doing that plate layout. The last section in the wall framing series gets into air tools and air nailers. These are important tools that we use when we're framing, and it makes sense that students are learning about these here. If you, in your program, are using pneumatics, it would be a good time to really buckle down with students and help them understand the safety and use of their air tools before they start framing with, say, an air nailer. In this last section, these are resources for you as a trainer. They're everything from a master vocabulary list, which matches all of the key terms that the students have been learning throughout their lessons and their course. It matches the global glossary that's available in your portal that's accessible to students for specific key terms. All of the presentations that the videos use are available to you here for review with your students. Also, any plan sets will be included in your resources here, as well as some skills exercise review videos that relate to those plan sets and give you tips and tricks on how to get your students through these activities. So I hope that makes sense. A whole lot of information, a great start into framing. This wall framing course will get students well on their way to understanding this huge concept. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.